In today's lecture, we are going to start with the unit number 3, that is structured query language. Okay, it is called as SQL. So in today's lecture, we are going to introduce what is SQL, and then we are go for the data definition language, domain types in SQL, what are the different domain types in SQL, then how to create the table, that is the construct for creating the table. Then integrity constraints in the create table. What are the different integrity constraints that we are going to see, and updates to table. How to update the table that we are going to see. So actually this is the outline of today's session. So introduction to the SQL. So what is SQL? SQL stands for the structured query language. Okay. It is the short form of structure query language. It is used for storing and managing data in relational database system. So this SQL is used for storing and managing data in relational database management system, that is RDBMS. It is a standard language for relational database system. As the name suggests, it's a language. Okay, it is a standard language for relational database system. What is the use of this? The SQL enables a user to create, read, update, and delete relational database and tables. So with the help of this SQL, you can create, read, update, and delete relational database and tables. So this will help you to operate over different queries, operate over your relational databases and tables. All the RDBMS like MySQL, Informix, Oracle, MS Access, SQL Server uses SQL as their standard database language. Whatever database you go for, they are using the standard database language as SQL. So SQL allows user to query the database in a number of ways using English-like statements. Okay, once you get familiar with this SQL, you will understand it's similar to English-like statements. So whatever you mention in the English statement, likewise you have to mention that in SQL to retrieve the data or query over the database. So what are the different rules for SQL? So these are the following rules for SQL follows. Structure query language is not case sensitive. Generally, keywords of SQL are written in uppercase. What is meant by this case sensitive? Understand this. What is meant by case sensitive is, suppose you are written hello like this. Hello. And you are written another hello like this. Okay, so this hello is different and this hello is different. That is, this is having uppercase H, this is having the lowercase h, and both are different. So this SQL query language is not case sensitive. Means both these hello are similar or one in SQL. Both are same. It doesn't differ by case capital or small case of the letters. It is not case sensitive. Both the hello are same to the SQL. And generally, whatever keywords of the SQL are written in uppercase. Okay, we will see with the help of example later on once we come across different SQL statements. SQL statements of SQL are dependent on text lines. We can use a single SQL statement on one or multiple text line. It is similar to a single line of the text. Okay, you can write in single line or you can have multiple lines of the same text. Using the SQL statements, we can perform most of the actions in database. Okay, almost all the actions you can perform with the help of SQL statements. Then what are the characteristics of SQL? SQL is easy to learn. Okay, it's very simple to learn. This is one of the characteristics of SQL, and it's quite interesting. This unit is interesting. We are going to use SQL in this unit to query over your database, and you have completed the basic understanding of the database, that is ER diagram, relational database, what are the entities, relationship, cardinalities. These are all the basic things, and now we come to the query over the database, how to create the database and query over the database. That's why we have introduced this unit. So SQL is easy to learn. SQL is used to access data from relational database management system. Okay, it is used to access the data. So SQL can execute the queries against the database. So whatever queries you are having will be executed. Again, SQL is used to describe the data. We will see what is meant by describe the data later on. It is also used to describe the data present in the database system. SQL is used to define the data in the database and manipulate it when needed. Okay, it is used to define the data and manipulate the data when needed. Again, SQL is used to create and drop the database and the table. So SQL is used to create the as well as drop the database and tables. It is used to create a view, store procedure, functions in the database. So it is again used to create the view, store procedures and functions in the database. These are some of the advanced topic in the SQL. So it will help for the database coder to write the SQL statement in specific standard way as per the requirement of the problem statement. So SQL allows user to set permissions on tables, procedures and views. Again, it will help us to set the permissions on the tables, procedures and view. Who is going to use that particular table, procedures and view? It is called as permissions. It is called as permissions. So what are the advantages of SQL? Following are the advantages of SQL. First one is high speed. Using the SQL queries, user can quickly and efficiently retrieve large amount of records from the database. So this is the advantage of SQL. It is having the high speed. Within a fraction of seconds, you can quickly and efficiently retrieve a large amount of records from the database. No coding needed. Okay, this is one of the advantage of SQL. In the standard SQL, it is very easy to manage database system. It doesn't require a substantial amount of coding to manage the database system. Few construct you need to familiar with, and then you can easily able to manage your database system. SQL is a well-defined standard. Okay, it is well-defined standard. Long established are used by SQL databases that are being used by ISO and ANSI. These are the standards, well-defined standards. SQL is defined by the well-defined standard, that is ISO and ANSI. portability. SQL can be used in laptop, PC, server, and even mobile phones. It is called as portability. You can use it anywhere on different platforms. It is called as portability. SQL, you can use it in laptop, you can use it in PC, you can use it on server, or even your mobile phones. That's why it is called as portable. Next is interactive language. Interactive language. SQL is a domain language used to communicate with the database. It is also used to receive answer to the complex questions in seconds. Within a fraction of seconds, you can retrieve the data. I will show you how to do this once we come across that particular topic. Next is multiple data view. Using the SQL, the user can make different view of database structure. Using the SQL, users can make different views of database structure. We will see it what is meant by this once we come across a particular topic, multiple data. So these are the different advantages of SQL. First one, now you can understand. First one is high speed, no coding required. It is well-defined standard, portable, interactive language, and multiple data view. So these are the advantages of SQL. Next is data definition language. We have learned it thoroughly in last unit. Now we are going to learn it in detail. The SQL data definition language allows specification of information about relations. So it allows specification of information about relations, including schema of relation. You can do the schema of the relation in the database with the help of DDL. You can set or have the domain values of associated with each attribute, and you can mention the integrity constraints. So all these things you can do with the help of data definition language. In short, it is called as DDL. Okay, in database world we are using it mostly DDL. So be familiar with this word. DDL means data definition language. Then we are going to see domain types in SQL. What are the different data types in simple or data types in SQL that we are going to see? First is character N. What is this character N is? It is a fixed length character string with user defined specified length N. Suppose you have mentioned character 5. So you can store maximum 5 characters in it. Length is fixed. Okay. So there are 5 characters. Suppose this is the first character, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay. So this is our first character. This is your second, third, fourth, and fifth character. So this is your character 5. And here it is. You can store the character string. You can store the character string. Characters means you can store, for example, Sachin. Okay. So this is called as character string. Next domain type is varchar N. Varchar N means variable length character string with user specified maximum length N. So once you mention, for example, you have mentioned like this, varchar 20 means in this string you can store maximum 20 values and it's variable. One time you can store five characters. At another time you can store 15 characters and so on. That's why it is called as varchar. Next is integer. Okay, you are familiar with the integer. You can store the integer values. For example, you want to store the roll number of the students, you can mention the data type as a integer because all the roll numbers are integer type. So it is a finite set of integers that is machine dependent. Okay, it is a finite, keep in mind it's a finite subset of integer. Next is small integer. The small integer, it is a machine dependent subset of higher of the integer domain type. So again it is small subtype of integer domain. Next is numeric PD. Okay, precision and digits. So it's a fixed point number with user specified precision of p digits with d digits to the right of the decimal point. For example, I have mentioned here numeric 3,1. What it means, it allows 44.5 to be exactly store exactly, but not this one. Okay, decimal, keep in mind numeric 3,1 means total is 3, and after decimal point you can store one value because you have mentioned over here it is 1, so you can store 44.5. so it is called as numeric. As per your requirement you can decide any of the domain type of your attribute. We will see it later on. Next it's real, double, precision. So real, double and precision, floating point and double precision floating point numbers with machine dependent precision. Next is float n. Float n. It's again floating point number. Floating point number means this one. Suppose 41.50. It is called as floating point number. Whereas integer number is your 45. Okay, this is the difference between integer and float numbers. Floating numbers with a user specified precision of at least n digits. Okay, you have to specify how many digits you want in as a precision inside the float. So all these are the domain types. All these are the domain types, and as per your requirement you can make use of all these domain types. To store the name of the student you can use varchar. To store the name of roll number of the student you can use integer. If you want to store the salary in floating point you can make use of float, and if you want small numbers you can use it. If you want to have numeric, real, double, precision, then you can make use of all these data types. Once we come across that particular attribute we will understand all these domain types in SQL. So next is how to create the table. Create table construct. So how to do this? A SQL relation is defined using the create table command. This is the command, and with the help of this command you can create the table. So this is the way to create the table. You have to mention create table. Okay, so this is the keywords in SQL. You have to mention the relation name R, and then you have to mention the first attribute A1 and its data type D1 separated by comma. The next A2, then data type of second column, comma, and so on till AN to DN, and you can mention the integrity constants. So this is the way to create the table. This is the way to create the table. So R is the name of the relation. Each AI is the attribute name in the schema of the relation R. and DI is the data type of values in domain of attribute AI. So this is the simple construct of the table. How to create the table in a database? So this will help you to create the table. Now we are going to see it with the help one example. We have seen this instructor table, instructor relation. Okay, so how to create the table for this instructor? You have to say create table instructor. This is the name of the table, instructor. And then open this bracket. First is your name of the first column, that is ID. Then you have to mention the data type for that ID, which type of data you are going to store it in. So here it is, I am going to store the ID as character 5. Next, my column is name, that is attribute name. I can store name using the varchar 20, using this data type varchar. Next attribute is name, and then varchar 20. 20 is maximum length. Now last is salary. I am going to store it in numeric 8,2. So this is the way to create the table in the database. Again, I am repeating. To create the table, you have to mention create table. Then you have to mention name of the table, that is instructor, and open the bracket and close the bracket. Inside it, this one, inside it, here it is ID is the first name of the attribute of the relation instructor, then data type character 5, comma, here it is comma. The next is name, data type, comma, department name, data type, comma, salary, numeric. At the end there is no comma. You have to complete this bracket that you have started over here. So this is the way to create the table. So how to apply the integrity constraints in the create table? So what are the integrity constraints? First is not null. Then primary key is the integrity constraint. Then foreign key. Okay, so these are the integrity constraints we can apply on the create table. Again, I am repeating. First is not null. Next is primary key A1 to AN. Mostly you have to mention one primary key, and foreign key, which is referring to relation R. So these are the constraints. Now we are going to learn with the help of example how to apply it. So we have seen create table instructor, we have seen ID, name, department, salary, and how to make this ID as primary key. Just mention after this comma, primary key is a keyword in the SQL, and you have to in the bracket you have to mention the name of the column to which you want to make the primary key. So here it is, you want to make this ID as a primary key, so you have mentioned this inside this key. And foreign key, suppose department name references department. So this is the foreign key, department, okay, which is referencing to the department. Okay, department is again one table that we have seen in the university schema. And here it is, you want to make this name as not null. Not null means you must mention the name values for the name attribute. And this is called as integrity constraints. This is called as integrity constraints. Again, I am repeating. So I have created the table instructor. Inside it, I have mentioned this integrity constraints. How to mention? I want to keep this name as not null. So just mention not null. For every row, you need to mention the name of the instructor. I want to make the ID as primary key, just mention in the primary key. And I want to make this department name as foreign key, just mention here foreign key department name, which is references to department table. At the end, semicolon. So this is the way to mention the integrity constraints in a create table construct. So your primary key declaration on any attribute automatically ensures not null. So there are few more definitions. Suppose you created the table student. How to create the student table? Just mention ID is the name of the first column, that is first attribute, then varchar 5. This data type that you have to decide which data type you have to apply for apply to that particular attribute. Name varchar 2, and here it is integrity constraint is not null. Department name varchar 20, total credits numeric 3,0, and here it is primary key is ID. Primary key is ID, and then foreign key is department name, references to department. So this is how you have to mention the create the table and mention the integrity constraints in the while creating the table. Take another example. Create the table text. In university schema, we have seen this text relation, and this is the ID, varchar 5, course ID, section ID, semester, year, and grade. These are the different columns. And here it is, you can mention primary key as ID, course ID, section ID, semester, and year. All these combinations are primary key, comma, foreign key. This ID is foreign key referencing to the students. Here it is. Here it is ID is primary key and it is foreign key. So just see how the foreign key is mentioned while creating the table. Already this table is present and ID is primary key, and here it is foreign key is ID, which is references to the student. So this is references to the student, and here it is ID is primary key. And here it is, it will refer as a foreign key, and which is references to the relation student. Again, you can have another foreign key, course ID, section ID, semester, year, references to the sections. This is another table in university schema. So it is again referencing to the section table. Okay, so this is the way to create the table. Again, there is one table we have created. Create table course, course ID, title, department name, and credits. And primary key is course ID. You have mentioned over here. Then foreign key department name, references to the department name. So again, this course table is referencing to the department table, and so okay, as a for foreign key. So how to do the updates to the tables? So first of all, how to insert the data into the table? So this is the way to insert the data into the table. So insert into. So insert into instructor, and this is the values clause. These are bold is the keywords in SQL. Insert into name of the table and values, and you have to mention the values. This is your first value, first column value, second value, second column value, third column value, and this is your fourth column values. And if you are having the varchar data type or string, you have to mention it in single quote, and integer, just mention the number. Don't keep it in single quote. And all the elements are separated by comma. All the elements are separated by comma. So this is the way to insert the data. How to delete the data from the table? Just mention delete from student. So whatever values present in the table will be deleted. How to drop the table? Just say to drop table and then name of the table, that is R. If you want to drop the student table, just say drop table, name of the table, that is student. This will be permanently deleted table from your database. So this is the way to drop the table. And you can do the alter the table. We will see it later on. Alter table or add the attribute and column, or alter table or you can drop a particular column. You can make the changes in the predefined table with the help of this alter keyword.